The things that did work for me were the things that did work for me were counseling. Honestly, I am so grateful that I had a counselor when I was in undergrad. When I noticed that I was becoming anxious as it got closer to graduation, that probably was the best thing I could have ever done for myself, was to seek a counselor at my school and to use that free resource in order to help me get through my last 2 semesters of school and just be okay, because my anxiety for sure started then, but then it got worse once I graduated and actually became a floor nurse. So counseling for sure worked for me. If you are not sure how to get into counseling, Google counselors in your area, Google counselors online. You can literally Google anything and something will pop up. And if you're in school currently, in nursing school, I'm pretty sure that your school has some type of counselor. I would say utilize it, because honestly, it was the best thing ever, because to me, it was like having that person that's non-biased. It's not someone that's in your family. It's not friends, it's not your classmates or anyone like that. It's literally someone that you don't know really much about at all, other than what's maybe on their profile or whatever. For my whole point is just take a chance, especially if those resources are available to you. Please look into finding a counselor and or a therapist. Also, another thing that helped me or worked for me with my anxiety was quitting my job. So honestly, people will say, don't quit your job. It's going to be hard to find another job if you quit too soon. As a new nurse, go ahead and get a year under your belt. That was not the case for me. Nurses are needed everywhere, and there's always going to be nursing jobs. I decided to take a leap of faith and I quit my very first job, and I was hired for my next job within 2 weeks. So for people who are saying like, don't quit your job, it's not a good look, it doesn't look good on your resume, you're gonna go to your job and do what you need to do for your job. And if you have a great personality and you're a hard worker and it shows, you're gonna be able to get a job. And that's just that. There's always a need for nurses, and someone's gonna take a chance on you regardless of how long you've been at your previous job. I ended up leaving where I was not happy, and that worked for me, because my next job, I was able to stay there for a year. It may not be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but I was able to stay there longer than I did at my first job, and that worked for me. The next thing that worked for me was I took a break. So I took a break from working. Everybody's predicament is not the same. I, fortunately enough, had a wife, a fiance at the time, who was very supportive of me quitting my job. And I was unemployed for 3 months, I want to say, or was it 4 months? I'm not sure. But I had saved up enough money, and I had enough money to be able to pay my bills and be unemployed for the time that I was. And I'm very grateful for that, because I understand, like I said, that not everybody's in that predicament. Not everybody is able to do that, just up and quit their jobs. So I completely understand, but I'm just sharing what worked for me. But I did quit my job and I was unemployed for a few months. And although it was probably the hardest few months out of my whole mental health journey, I think it definitely needed to happen, because it literally jump-started my spirituality journey and my mental health journey to be where I am now, literally. So that worked for me, quitting my job. Putting myself first worked tremendously. So what I mean by putting myself first is, before I quit my job, I was working in a mental health facility during the time of COVID, and there's a nursing shortage. Nursing shortage has always been around, but even more so during COVID. People are scared, people are getting sick. I ended up picking up extra shifts, then feeling burned out, and then eventually telling myself that I'm valuable enough to put myself first. And I love myself enough to put myself first. So I stopped coming in for extra shifts. I stopped working more than what I was contracted to work or hired to work. And I put myself first by saying no. I put myself first by saying no to overworking myself and putting myself in the position to be more anxious more days throughout the week than I normally would on any given week. So I put myself first. I started doing a lot more self-care. For everyone, self-care looks different. So for me, initially, I tried to do like the bubble baths and the face mask and stuff like that, but that wasn't self-care to me. Self-care to me was like having a lazy day on one of my days off, putting my errands off for another day. For me, self-care was more so about resting and being around family and literally taking time to just enjoy my life versus running errands and taking a bubble bath and putting on a face mask, things like that. Self-care for me was getting my nails done. Self-care for me was shopping for makeup, knowing that I normally don't shop for makeup for myself unless it's birthdays or Christmas and people give me gift cards and stuff like that that I can utilize. So that's what self-care was to me. Find your self-care and then apply it to your life in the ways that you see fit. It doesn't always have to be a bubble bath and pampering, things like that. Do I still do things like that? Yes, occasionally, but when I think of self-care, that's not the self-care that I do. Also, the things that do work for me are now especially is meditating and journaling. So at first I did try it when I was very anxious in a very bad place in life. When I first initially started nursing, but it didn't work for me. And I feel like that was because I was still so high up, like in my anxiety and stuff. But after I've calmed down and after I've been in such a great place, I picked it back up and it's actually very beneficial. I actually picked it up when I found my last counselor before I moved from Memphis and after I quit my job. So definitely journaling and meditating, everybody does that differently as well. You don't have to do it the same ways that people do on YouTube or on blogs, whatever. You can do it in a way that works for you. If it's every day, if it's every other day, if it's morning and night, if it's weekly, whatever works for you as far as meditation and journaling, if that's something that helps you, then do it. And then lastly, I would say the things that helped me or people that helped me were my family. But not in the aspect of, telling my family everything that's going on with me mentally or everything that's going on in my life, but just being around family in general and just enjoying that time of being around family. Those are the things that worked for me. I really do hope that this video was semi-helpful. If not, then I'm sorry, but I really did try. Right now, I am in a very great space mentally and I work from home, so it's like can't be that bad, right? But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and kind of share my experience a little bit about me and my journey as a nurse, a new grad nurse, and in general in the beginning, and then kind of explain to you guys what things worked for me and what things did not. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do plan on making a few more videos about nursing. I am at a place where nursing doesn't always bother me, but certain ideals bother me. So if there's other topics that you guys would like me to talk about, how I studied in nursing school, my nursing school experience, anything, honestly anything, I'm open to answer questions and to help. Just let me know. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring a perspective out there on YouTube because I know that some videos I watch for like new grad nurse anxiety, like I would just get annoyed watching them because it's just like it's not as easy just to think like just deal with it. For me, it was not that easy. I had to do other things, and it took me 2.5 years to realize what things worked for me and what things did not work for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys found it useful. If you guys have any requests for videos or anything that you guys want to see from me, or have any questions in general, just leave them down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Yeah, yeah.